Coming to you from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of the Santa Monica Mountains, I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Welcome to another episode of Questions with L.A. So we'll get into your questions. If you've got questions, keep them short and pithy. Please don't write War and Peace. Short and pithy is always good. And you can go to questions@lamarzulli.net. Questions@lamarzulli.net. We'll start reading and answering, hopefully, some of your questions right after a word from our trusted sponsor. Folks, there seems to be bad turbulence ahead. The economy is a minefield right now, ready to detonate and destroy the wealth and dreams of the unprepared. Bank failures, de-dollarization, debt, but amidst the chaos, a beacon of hope emerges. Kevin Sorbo, screen legend Hercules, Christian actor, and outspoken activist for the people. With his economic crisis toolkit, crafted in a partnership with the experts at Noble Gold, Sorbo is now on a mission to help everyday Americans navigate the coming nightmare, the coming financial nightmare. This shock-proof toolkit is your compass through the turmoil, with recession-proof strategies, inflation-busting techniques, and opportunity-seizing skills to help you not just survive, but thrive in the bedlam. The crisis threatens to derail your financial future, but you can now stay on track and emerge stronger than ever. And the best part? The shield of knowledge is yours, absolutely free. Folks, don't become another casualty. Enlist in Sorbo's Wealth Warrior ranks today and arm yourself with the tools and tactics you need to protect your hard-earned assets. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com, and sign up for the Economic Crisis Toolkit. Okay, this is from Lori. Dear Mr. Marzulli, the Raptures sounds very similar to fallen angel Nephilim /alien abductions. How will we be able to discern if it really is Jesus coming to take his church? I heard that holograms may be used to deceive us. Also, some brothers and sisters are saying that there will be 3 raptures. First the bride, second the guests, those are the wishy-washy on-the-fence Christians, and third the Jews. What are your thoughts on this? I am looking forward to attending and seeing you at the Brookline, Ohio conference. Wow, it's over a year ago. This is how backlogged we are, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to do 3 questions shows right in a row here and try to play a little bit of catch up. So let's walk through this. And this is going to sound like a shameless plug. You need to start doing your homework. I actually answer this question in right here, number 9. What is the truth? 9 and 10. At the end, I weigh in right here at this desk, as a matter of fact, and tell you what I think is the scenario. The book, which I'm going to finish in the next 24, 48 hours, and will be out probably July sometime, maybe early August. It just depends on the printing backlog and everything. The rungs on the ladder of disclosure. In the back, the very last chapter of the book, I basically outline the same scenario, which I believe is going to take place. I will tell you this, that there's biblical precedent for that scenario. And I got some of this from Mondo Gonzalez and Jeff Hatton. They were discussing, where is it? I think it's this mug. No, not this one. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, we go up, they come down. We go up, they show up. So, is it possible, and I'll get into this. First of all, I do not think there's 3 raptures. Anyone who is born again and spirit-filled goes up. That's how that works. I do not believe in 3 separate raptures. I don't. If you're born again and spirit-filled, up you go. And I realize this is the stuff of science fiction. No one, if you're not spirit-filled and you come to that passage, the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel and the trump of God. The dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain will be caught up, or plazo. That's as close as we get to the word rapture, but it means caught up, okay? Caught up together with those in the clouds. In the clouds. And so shall we evermore be with the Lord. I mean, it's first, what is it? 1 Thessalonians, I think it's 4, 15 and 16. I'm pretty sure that's the address. When you get to that chapter, when you get to that verse, if you're not spirit-filled, how can you even understand what you're reading? It sounds like beyond science fiction, the title of Jim Williamson's book. And it is. It's absolutely beyond anything we could actually imagine. Here's the deal. As Christians, as the church, and you've heard me say this, I'll say it again. Do we really believe what's in the pages of our Bible? Let me elaborate. We read about virgin births, floating accents, talking donkeys, men that walk on water, water that's changed into wine, water that stands on a big up like a big heap and allows 3 million Jews, Israelites to cross the Red Sea. How does that work? Men that are raised from the dead. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The church, the modern day church, and I'm part of the church. I love the church, okay? But we have a very truncated view of the supernatural. And a lot of us do not believe, a lot of so-called Christians and certain denominations do not believe in a literal 1,000-year reign called the millennium of Jesus. He comes down where? His feet touch the Mount of Olives and that thing splits in half. That in itself is just like, how's that going to work? And he rules from where? Oh, everyone knows he rules from Washington, D.C. No, he rules from Jerusalem. He rules from Jerusalem. The king is coming. I think it's soon. I'm not a date setter, but I think we've passed a point where you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube or the genie in the bottle, whatever analogy that you want to use. You just can't. Once this dam has broken, you can't start picking up bricks and try to hold back the water. It's too late. That dam is AI, in my opinion, artificial intelligence. We now, and the reason why look, some of it is really great. On the other hand, I can type in a bunch of information, let's say 20 minutes, and a couple of minutes later I have a full-blown screenplay or a novel. How does that work? So it removes the status quo, what we've known for thousands of years. But here's the trouble I have with it. And I'll get into the rapture thing in just a second. Too many rabbit trails, I know. Here's the trouble I have with it, because we can't discern anymore what the truth is and what is created by AI. Truth is thrown to the street, literally. This is where we are. There's only one rapture. We go up, they come down. We go up, they show up. What I mean by that, we know that, again, this is Mondo and Jeff Van Hatten taking that saying, we go up, they show up, we go up, they come down, and extrapolating on that. We know when Elijah the prophet goes up in a whirlwind, his servant Elisha sees him go up. When Jesus goes up into the heavens, there's a throng of people. We don't know how many people. Definitely the apostles are there. I can't imagine for a second that Mary, his mother, and Mary Magdalene isn't there also, along with who knows how many other people who got the word, he's going up today. How does, I just wish we had some paragraphs. How does that work? Did it take them all by surprise, or did he give them warning? They're there looking up. They watch him ascend, where? Into a cloud. It says it right there. And then he disappears. The third one is the two witnesses. They lay on the streets of Jerusalem, they've been killed for 3 days. Then they are resurrected supernaturally. And the entire planet watches them do what? Ascend. Ascend where? Into a cloud. Read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and the trump of God. The dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain will be caught up with them where? In the clouds. We go up, they show up. What do I mean by that? We go up, the rapture of the church, into the cloud. Out of that same cloud comes this. And there's your great deception. There's your great deception. Fatima, in my opinion, and I realize a lot of people will take umbrage with this, and do your homework. Watch the two shows we have on Fatima for $4.99, streaming at lamarzulli.net. What are you waiting for? Seriously, what are you waiting for? We deliberately lowered the prices to make it accessible. There's no longer an excuse. Everybody's got $5. Everybody. Do your homework. Watch Fatima 1 and Fatima 2. Because what happened that day at Fatima was it had been raining all night, all morning. Finally, it stops raining, the clouds part, the sun appears. But then a cloud moves in front of the sun. Out of that cloud comes what? A dull silver disc. Not making this up. How do I know that? Handwritten testimonies from Father Fiora in 1917. That craft came out of the cloud. In my opinion, This is the coming great deception. It will deceive many. Even the elect would be deceived if that were possible. Men faint from fear from what's coming upon the earth. Unless those days were shortened, no flesh would survive. So, that's a really long-winded answer. I totally get that, and I've been going on here for quite some time. But, the bottom line is, folks, that this is all too real. And I believe we're on the cusp of it. I also believe that there's going to be an event on the planet which triggers the revealing. That was the third book in the Nephilim trilogy. By the way, the new book, The Rungs on the UFO Disclosure Ladder, again, this is number 14. So we now have 14 books and 30 films. There's a corpus of work, and all I'm doing is scratching the surface on questions with LA. Let's do another one. Hey, LA Marzulli, I've been interested in your research for quite some time. Well, thank you. This is from Ellen. May God bless you as you continue your work. Thank you. I have a friend who sent me this in an email. I was wondering if you know about this or have heard about it or would want to make any comments. I was trying to keep this pithy. Thank you. Here is the rest of the information so you can check it out. I'll let you are your helper. There is no helper. Peggy's in shipping, and I'm here in the studio with my business partner, Gil Zimmerman. We edit the films. We'll be filming at the Prophecy Watchers Conference at the end of the month. I might as well get that in right now. We'll be filming. We're doing a film in the Shroud of Turin and also the so-called Holy Fire. Now, we had Russ Braille on last week. You want to check that out on our YouTube channel right here. Go back, scroll down, and you can check that out. But we've had, I think, it's close to 30,000 views already. It's a lot of people. And that's the next film. We've put, once again, On the Trail of a Nephilim on the back burner because we feel that the Lord is directing our steps to do the Holy Fire. Okay, domes and underground tunnels. Have you found connected worldwide for 32,000 miles? I wrote about this in a fictional account of Nephilim, book 1, 2, and 3, specifically 3, where we get into the tunnels. Yes, I believe there was a network of tunnels. This is conjecture. I think you could get on one of these high-speed, unbelievable trains, and you could go from Washington, D.C. to California, Los Angeles in 20 minutes, something like that. There is technology that we don't have, that the public doesn't have access to. That is conjecture. Nephilim giants and underground military bases. A man who went into underground military bases said that the giants of the Nephilim race, where they were working with scientists, admitted they were Nephilim, and that you were not allowed to say Jesus underground where they live. He says that these giants are preparing for an intergalactic war with God and think they are going to win. I've heard all this before. See, the problem is you can't vet it. I wrote about it in the third book of the Nephilim trilogy, The Revealing. But, have I been in an underground base? No, and frankly, I don't want to go there. We have had 2 whistleblowers, and both of them, I think, come in the very first film in our UFO series. There are now 10 films in that series. This is why you need to do your homework. Watch that interview. One guy would not come on camera, so I pointed the camera down at his shoes, and we can hear his voice talking about a friend of his son was in military, active military, and was working in a deep underground military base, a dome. And he was working side by side the graves. There's too many witnesses that have come forward. In my opinion, it's real. This is from Roger. Thought I would send this article to LA, as I have found that the serpent making in one of the chambers of Karahan Tepe in Turkey, 12 miles east of Padam Aram, the field of the Arameans, and south of Göbekli Tepe, has the same serpent marking as does the Serpent Mound in Ohio. We know that both the sons of Cain and Adam dwelt east of Eden after being expelled from the garden. Myself, I'm an avid watcher, purchaser of the Giant series of videos. LA, of course, would not agree with everything on my site. I think this observation supports his Levant Giants migration into becoming the Mississippian culture very well. I will look at this. I have not looked at this website. I'm going to put it here. This is my homework to do after the show, and I will definitely get into that. That is fantastic information, and thank you for writing. I will say this, that the serpent motif is universal. It is completely global. It's always the serpent. It's always the serpent. And that begs the question, why the serpent? Why is it always the serpent? And I'll tell you why it's always the serpent. because he is the prince of the power of the air. He is the ruler of this earth, even now. Remember our mission statement: to expose the deception of the prince of the power of the air and to herald the return of the King Jesus. We just talked about the King coming back. He is going to come back. Remember, there's certain sections in the church that are amillennial in their viewpoint. There is no literal millennium. Of course there is. And when you hold that view, when we look at what's going on in the Middle East, there's no answers there. You have no answer. But if we hold to the premillennial and understand the concept of the rapture of the church, pre-tribulation rapture, that we are not amillennial. There is a millennium. And we are looking at 1,000 years literal reign of Jesus on the earth. Not making this stuff up. I'm not. Let's go on. This is J.P. LaRue. Greetings and blessings to you from South Africa. Wow, thank you so much for watching and listening. This is May 7th, 2023. I want to know if you have any information regarding the stone circles in South Africa. Also, do you know about Adam's calendar? Michael Tellinger apparently knows a lot about the stone circles in Adam's calendar, but I don't think he is legit. What do you think? Thank you for everything. We are keeping you in our prayers. I need to do some research on that. I will say this. There's a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the people of the world. That's why we're on the trail of the Nephilim. The vestiges of this technology is absolutely everywhere. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. Again, I will be at the Prophecy Watchers Conference coming up at the end of the month. Hope to see you there. I speak twice on Saturday. All 10 of our DVDs are now on our streaming site. Streaming.lamarzulli.net. Streaming.lamarzulli.net. You can check it out for yourself. Hope to see you at the Prophecy Watchers Conference. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Officials endeavoring to obtain all top flying saucers.
Marcel's own words, it was something that he'd never seen before. Something from another world. In our opinion, Marcel was a patsy.
Just verbal directions that we know was abandoned.
That his father was telling the truth.
He dead in the eye, and he said, it really happened, and he held his hand up just like this. They had 6 fingers, not 5.
He said they looked quite a bit like us.
Do you think your grandfather was a patsy?
100%.
The cover-up by the U.S. military.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
I can't discuss in public setting.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots?
Biologics came to some of these recoveries.
He deliberately obfuscated and they lied to the American people.
When the Pentagon decided to lie about what happened at Roswell.
Because standing 6 feet away, this little being about 3.5 feet tall.
She said the nurses who were there during the crash, they're now at a convent.
The first book that Randall wrote, and he said to Jess, he said, that's not fiction.
But for everybody, I mean, this is a human thing. It's a worldwide changing, be life-changing for everybody.
Was certainly not a weather balloon and not something from this earth.